Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Man Monday. This is live stream episode number 77, and today is June the 7th, 2021. I want to welcome everyone to this live stream. I'm your host, Mr. Mountain Man, and welcome everyone that's joining me live this evening or anyone who might be joining me later on the Mr. Mountain Man channel, catching up afterwards. This live stream and all of them are available under the live stream playlist on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel. So after a brief hiatus of having last week off for Memorial Day and honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, tip of the cap, obviously, to all of them and obviously our veterans as well. Happy to be back here today, joining everyone and getting back in the groove of things on a Monday night, as we should on Mountain Man Monday live stream. I know folks were might have been disappointed, but I had family in last week and my sister specifically, and just wanted to spend some good old quality time. Also, that particular day, I actually had a toilet to fix of all things. It just was broken and leaking, and I couldn't put it off any longer. It was a pain in the rear to turn the water off every time in between use. So I spent the afternoon doing that, and then decided to relax, cook out, spend some time with the family, and enjoy. So I know we got a few people rolling in here. Anyway, I hope everyone here is having a great start to their week and a nice Monday, as we say here on the Mountain Man Monday live stream. And hope you're doing well. Let us know how you're doing. Let's say hello to some folks. We got Adriana LaSure. How's the Mr. Mountain Man doing? I am doing well. I am doing great. Happy to be back here on a Monday night. Hope you're doing well. Also, we got Hope Faith here. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, what's up? How are you doing? Doing well. How are you doing this evening? We got BBBB. Good evening, Mr. Mountain Man, in chat to you as well and to everyone here. We got Foxy Wolf. Woohoo! It is a true Mr. Mountain Man Monday live stream. It sure is. And as in good fashion here, we always get the Mr. Mountain Man Thor type hammer out and give a flex, which you can barely see there, but we get it going here. We got Mr. Carlos. Hello from Burnsville, North Carolina. Beautiful area here in the mountains. Yes, hello to you. Hope you are doing well. Where's Larry? Larry will be here, I think, because I put a post on my channel every week, if you folks haven't seen it, of what time that I anticipate to do the Mountain Man live stream. It's usually just a couple or few hours before, once I zone in on what time will be it'll be happening. And Larry said he couldn't wait, so I'm sure he'll be rolling in here soon. We got, hey, Elmar Collins Lilly. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man. Happy Monday to you as well. Nice to have you here. I know so often I get on late and you're not able to make it, and some other people aren't able to make it. So great to see you. Hey, we got Tracy here. It's saying hello to Foxy Wolf and everybody else. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Hello to you. Folks saying howdy to each other. Oh, I think I am behind because I saw. We got Ted and Deborah Harrison. Good evening, Mr. Mountain Man, all in the chat. Good evening to you as well. Hope you're having a great week. We do have Larry here. He's here. Hello and happy Mountain Man Monday to you as well. I hope you are doing just fantastically. And I've seen a couple new videos have been posted on Larry's channel, so make sure to check them out. Yeah, and Mr. Carlos is early because I think he usually shows up a little bit later. We're such an intimate group. We kind of know who pulls up a stool and at what time. So it's great to have everybody here. Everybody's saying hello. Let me see. Just got a video uploading. Yep, and I think I beat you to it. I didn't know the new video, but you've got a few of them there. Missed last Monday. What did you do in the summer when you lived in the other states? In the summer, when I lived in Florida, you melted. No, that's it depends. It depended on the year. Obviously, the beach. I mean, you go to the beach because it was hot, and that's a good time of the year. Florida sometimes stereotypically would, have those afternoon thunderstorms. So, believe it or not, that could dampen plans at times, pun intended. I liked riding the motorcycle in certain years. I would say Disney. We had Disney annual passes, but Disney had blackout dates, so you couldn't go in June and July and part of August, which you didn't really want to be there anyway because it was 110 degrees. But I'd say on the outskirts of summer, late August and September, we were definitely at Disney quite a bit. Going to the parks, local parks, stuff like that. So yeah, fun stuff. But now here in the mountains, enjoying a lot of fun activities. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, everyone in the chat, to you as well, Kentucky girl. Hope you are having a great start to your week. Pray for me. I've been coughing nonstop for the last few weeks. Don't know what's going on. It's driving me crazy. Absolutely will pray for you. Over the years, probably a completely different reason. I had, done my bout with like a dry cough. It was nothing really medically an issue. It was more of an annoyance. But kind of reflecting back on those days, I didn't drink enough water. Like I literally in my late teens, 20s, I just lived on soda. That's all I drank. Like I'm talking about regularly. I mean, I might have an orange juice here and there or something, but literally just drank pop all the time. And you gotta, I needed to drink more water just for 100 different reasons. And it wasn't until I, really got back into working out and paying more attention to that, that I drank more water. And so not that water is going to be is solving for it, but what happened was I was drinking so much of that stuff and like caused like a little bit of acid reflux. So I'd have like this little cough, like, so it wasn't like a heavy cough, but anyway, yeah. So I definitely hope you get better, Hope, and I hope the cough goes away for sure. Hey, Rita's here. Great to see you, Rita. Hello, Mr. Mountain. Glad to see you. What does it say on your shirt? Probably to no surprise, we have Ohio State football, if you can see it there. So that's my Ohio State football shirt, and wearing that, threw it on hastily this morning. So yeah, that's my shirt. Always a big Buckeye fan. Kentucky Girl has some new videos. Larry has some new videos. And so definitely check out. And speak of people making new videos, Smoky Mountain Hiker, just stopping in to say hello. Hope you and everyone has a great week. Not staying long. Need to get some more rest. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and Smoky Mountain Hiker, now that all the craziness with the pandemic is done, how about this summer? Maybe sometime we could go for a ride or something like that. We'll figure it out. But I don't know if you're even here right now, because you said you got to get some rest. But if you're still riding, maybe we can make something happen. Got the new GoPro. I'm going to be vlogging full. I slacked for a month. Yeah, I would like to get one as well, specifically for rides. There's a whole setup I'd like to get, so that some of my ride videos would be even better. Not that the cell phone does a bad job. I spent like $70 for this rig for the motorcycle. That's pretty nice. That holds the phone. And as you guys have seen, it does a pretty good job. But, I got this newer motorcycle helmet that's got cutouts for the Bluetooth and all kinds of stuff. So there's still a little bit I want to get into, and check it out. Let's see here. Sorry. Reading. Everybody say howdy. That's what I say when everybody's saying hungry with the hot dogs. Yes. Trying to get over some bronchitis. Speaking of coughing, prescriptions seem to be helping. Yes. Definitely get some rest, SMH, and definitely get some rest. I hope you feel better. That stinks. It's weird. I got a cold, like, I don't know, it was like 3 weeks or a month ago. And that sucker was sticking around, annoying the heck out of me. It didn't stop me from doing much, so I didn't have to get a prescription, but like every night, like the stuffy nose and all that stuff, it was pain. I hope you feel better, Smoky Mountain Hiker. Make sure to smash that like button. I appreciate it, Larry, and to everyone for support on the channel. Detail the car, so I thought I'd come see. Yeah, I love doing that. I'm telling you what, my car, it is night and day different when I clean my car and detail it. which I seem to do about every 6 weeks. But when I do, like I will start getting compliments when I drive places in the Cobra. But when it's dirty, it makes a huge difference. That reddish color just gets all off color. It looks like it needs a paint job or something. And it just, the wheels that aren't shining black. It just, I mean, I guess most cars are like that, but mine in particular seems to really shine when it's been cleaned. Yeah, I drink 3, maybe 4 20-ounce bottles a day. So I roughly what I'm supposed to drink based on my weight and stuff is close to a gallon of water a day, I think. And I think that for me is like 8 20-ounce bottles. I asked Google, when I asked Google, hey Google, how much, how many 20-ounce bottles is in a gallon? It was like, I think it was like 8 or something like that. But I even admittingly don't get drink enough probably even now. Sometimes I'll just, if I'm trying to play catch up, because I also think, because I lift weights and stuff, sometimes I'll get muscle cramps after the fact, especially on arm day, in my forearms and such. Sometimes in my chest after chest day, it can be really painful, the muscle cramping, and I just have to drink a ton and a half of water. Go Bucks! Yes, absolutely. OHIO. That's really cool. That's for that's the Buckeye chant for anybody who doesn't know, for the football team. Yeah, need for you to come detail my car. It's funny because that always happens to me. A lot of people pay to have their car cleaned, or they know how much work it is. And every time I'm out cleaning my car, it never fails. I always have a neighbor like, let me bring mine over. I'll clean it for me. Tracy said, have a good night. Busy day tomorrow. Absolutely. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for stopping by. I know it's been a spell since you've been on the show here. So glad to have you. And anybody who might be here who hasn't been in a while, happy to have you. Feel free to say hello, or if not, you're just listening in the background. A+, that's great too. Kind of like a podcast. We always have a nice conversation here. Speaking of which, just kind of catching up on some of the things that like I did this last weekend. Like I've just been absolutely crazy busy nuts. You guys are tired of hearing it. I'm tired of saying it, but it has been. I feel like I can't get my head above for air sometimes, but but this is this was a project that needed to be done, but just because of the time of the year. But we have, so I planted Buford hollies in my front yard. I really like holly plants. So a few years ago, they were on clearance after Christmas, in the maybe 3 or 5 gallon buckets individually. And I bought 14 of them and I planted them. Absolutely love them. They are like filet mignon for the deer. And no matter what you do, deer away, spray, cayenne, it doesn't matter. The deer are going to eat them, especially in the winter. And it drove me nuts because I like, when planting, stuff in the yard, I take good care of it and I work hard on it, but I just couldn't beat them. And they would mow those things down. And it was such a shame because they would never grow because the deer would get after them. So finally I put up the white flag because my wife was like, we got to change those out. And I'm like, I will not admit defeat. It wasn't a stubborn thing. I really wanted the hollies. I thought they would look beautiful if they could mature. But finally I said, they look awful. They look like twigs. And it's been like 2.5, 3 years. And I said, it's time to replace them with something else. So we go over to Lowe's on Friday and looking at stuff, but I had to be smart about it this time. I said, I can't guess. I had some ideas of what I wanted to get, and I started Googling, what's hardy for deer. Now we have boxwoods already, and boxwoods are fantastic. The deer don't like them at all. You can shape them really nicely, and that was a lot of fun to have those. But I didn't want any more because I already have a bunch of them. So I started looking at other stuff, and finally settled on a particular plant they had there. It was it's a crepe myrtle hybrid, so it's not a tree, dwarf, red color shrubs that only go 3 to 5 feet. Unfortunately, these plants are kind of pricey. They were $25 a plant, and I needed like 10 or 12 of them. So it was quite an investment to replace all of those. but they look really nice. Got them, pulled out all the hollies by hand. I just pulled them out. That's how weak, because the roots were long, but I couldn't hardly pull them out. Pulled them all out, put them in a pile, planted all the new plants. But while we were there was a hybrid maple that was on clearance in the clearance section, but I knew I could revive it. It wasn't looking that bad. It was an $80 tree and it was on sale 50% off, $40. I said, this thing looks beautiful. It's supposed to get 15 to 20 feet wide, 15 to 20 feet tall. Had a spot for it, picked it out. Beautiful plant, little bit of investment, plant it in the yard. It's a porterhouse for the deer. They are munching on that thing and eating all the maple leaves off of it. And then I looked it up. I would have never thought tree would have been something they would have wanted to eat. I just caught them right before the live stream. I went out there. There was 2 deer. I had to get within 10 feet of them to scare them away. I had already put the deer away on them, or the deer away pellets on it. It didn't work. I'm going to pull it back out of the ground and return it to Lowe's. And that's a disappointment, because this would have been a big, beautiful tree. I think if I need to be successful at that, I need to buy a more mature tree that's already 6 or 7 feet tall that I can plant, and then they can't reach it as easily, and that the trunk is enough. So also planted a couple of spruce pine, dwarf spruce pines. Love those things. Got some at Walmart during Christmas time. I have some other ones in the yard, and planted those. And then I saw that there was going to be like 8 days of rain in a row, which you'll see in the news and notes. So I was exhausted yesterday, but I went ahead and mowed the grass, because I knew there was no end coming up for the grass to be cut, because it rained today and it's going to be raining every single day. It's feast or famine. And we had like 3 weeks of no rain, and now it's going to rain for like 10 days in a row. So it was a busy week, and that's all that I did, that, and then I cooked out in the weekend, and it was back to the grind today. So yeah, I mean, hey, listen, that is not bad stuff to be involved, to be able to do stuff in my yard. I'm blessed, and I'm very pleased about that. But still, it seems like, it's just some project after another. This wasn't any kind of crisis like the leaking door, the leaking toilet, or the broken microwave, or the broken fridge. But definitely, because it's the planting time. If you make an investment like that, you try to plant in like October, you can kill something if it's not planted at the right time of the year. So the other thing about, speaking of being out in the yard, I couldn't find pine needles for anything. Depending on what part of the country, they're either in abundance or they're a rarity. And everywhere we went, should have known better, because it was a Saturday. Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace, all of them, all of the semi. They bring a semi in, and most of the time it's from Florida, just completely empty. Nobody had pine needles, so couldn't like pine needles in the bed. Yeah, that's kind of what was happening. And then let me catch up on the comments, and then I'll talk about 2 weeks ago or a week before previous, making a trip over to Dollywood when Ditda was here. Let me see. Sounds good. I'm trying to find a place to change my tire. The place I bought it from won't do it anymore. They don't do anything once a motorcycle gets old, not even just change a tire. Interesting. Yeah, we have a place here in the a few places in the Asheville area. I've got new tires last year. Speaking of investments, that was an investment to get 2 of them, but I got pretty good tires put on them. But that's funny. They don't do anything once a motorcycle gets old. That's weird. Yeah, hopefully you can find some other place. I think you're over in like Sevier County or something, right? Or if worst case scenario, if you got to take a quick ride up to Knoxville. I waited on my motorcycle. I'm not sure if you're here. I know you weren't feeling well, and I'm behind on the comments, but hopefully you can find another place. Hot soup does help. Yes, absolutely. I bought a new pressure washer, but got to get the wheels on it, and I bought a new garden hose as well. Cool. Yeah, having a good pressure washer. I got one with my tax refund money like 15 years ago. I still have it. In fact, over on the Eclectic Handyman, there's a video on changing the oil on it. If I never needed a pressure washer until I lived in Florida, because every house has a concrete driveway, and concrete driveways get really dirty, and they start to turn like black, honestly, from the soot coming from the yard, depending on what angle and things running over it. And it's a chore. Like I remember somebody asked, what do I did in the summer in Florida? One of the things was pressure wash the driveway and the sidewalk. And that was like a 6-hour adventure. That would take a long time. But you can do a lot of great things with them. You can clean off the driveway. You can clean off the deck. You can clean off the, a house, the siding, windows, all kinds of stuff. Just be careful. That this isn't really for Foxy, but for anybody who has a pressure washer, if you get one that's really strong, that's like above 2,000 pounds pressure, you can actually start doing like if you put the tip in it, that's the real fine one, you can actually tear up like concrete, like weak concrete. So yes, you can break stuff. It's that you don't want to run over your foot with it. If it's one of the lighter industrial one, the lighter residential, I should say, ones, that I think some may not even be, like there's might be some that are electric powered and not gas powered. But anyway, great to have a pressure washer. Yeah. Rita, you do the same thing I do. It'll take me too long to type in everyone's name. I have succumbed to, in live streams, of basically, if I see a lot of friendly folks that I know, is just waiting till the end and saying hello to everyone. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm not taking the time. But a lot of times when I'm watching a live stream, like I tried to watch Will and Dawn's for a few minutes last night, I was grilling. The kids were making noise. I had the phone. Some people, I think Foxy was on there and a couple other people. But I couldn't keep typing too much. And so I know what you mean. Speaking of exercise, I found out I've been doing my countertop push-ups all wrong. My elbows were out, not against my body. Well, the thing is, if you put them in, that's going to work your triceps more. That's the back of your arm right here. That's like a tricep push out. If you push them out, if you put out your arms, it's probably going to work your chest a little bit more. So it depends on what type of muscle you're trying to hit. The equivalent of a push-up is a bench press in the gym, which I random note for anybody who cares, I had an excellent week last week. I did chest one day. I set a new personal record. I got 315 pounds on the bench 8 times, 8 reps for 315. That was my most ever. Normally I only get 7. And on a bad day, I get 6. So I got 8. But back to your comment, Kentucky Girl. It's just like a barbell. If you have a wide grip, which I'm outside the camera, it works the chest. But there's something called a close grip bench press, where you put your arms in closer. You still use the bar and you keep them close to your body, kind of like keeping your elbows close. And that will work the triceps. So actually doing a wide grip push-up or a close grip push-up, close stance or wide stance, or however you want to think about it, works 2 different muscles, your chest versus your triceps. It's great to hear that you're doing it. I hope you're enjoying. That's awesome. It's, a lot of people don't realize about how much you can just do around the house, like squats, or one leg knee downs, like with just your body weight, like put one knee to the ground, stand back up, put one knee to the ground, stand back up, put one knee. That is hard. It works your legs. Like you'd be tired after a while. And if somebody's advanced doing it, just hold a couple of water bottles when doing it, and then maybe some 3-pound weights or whatever. There's so much that you can do at home. Who is a Panthers fan? I'm wondering if maybe Mr. Carlos or some of the other people from Carolina. You know me, I'm not. Where's my Steelers stuff? I should always have Steelers stuff around here. I'm usually wearing a Steelers hat or something, but I always stayed with my football teams. Let's show Mr. Mountain Man how much we missed him last week by boom, boom, boom. The thumbs up with the deserving live stream host. Such a deserving live stream host. I appreciate it. My voice box appreciates it. I think that's the marathon of Mountain Man Monday is me talking nonstop in my head and looking at the comments here. It's like this fluid 2-way dialogue, but the reality is obviously I'm the only one actually talking, but you guys can speak out loud. I just won't be able to hear you. So thanks for the reminder. Oh yeah, no problem. Oh, back in 5 minutes. Got to move inside from the tiki bar. Sweet. That's awesome. My parents and some of their friends up there in Huron, Ohio used to have a little tiki bar that they would set up near the beach. So, and by the way, I'm like 10 minutes behind the comments, so you're probably already back. Deer are relentless with nice young green plants. They sure are. And that emoji right there. And it was just looking at me. I mean, they're so fun to look at. And we have so many around the house. You'll see like a pack of, I saw a pack of 7 tonight, sometimes 10, 13. You get a lot in the mountains here. They're beautiful, but they wreak havoc. My two enemies right now for my landscaping are deer and moles. And the moles in the yard, I try to take care of my grass, and that is, boy, those stinkers are a pain in the rear. Oh, I love the red crepe myrtle. I had 8 deer in my front yard the other day, and they act like, yeah, like it's their home. You know what I do sometimes? I turn on the light. If I'm like, I'm a little bit of a night owl, so I might go to bed at 1 or 2 or something, and I'll turn on the light. And sometimes there'll be a deer like 5 feet from the door, just kind of looking. And especially when I had the hollies, and I'm like, that was aggravating. Oh, by the way, with the hollies, I could not succumb to just throwing them down out in the backyard and letting them dry up. I actually found another place in the back near the HVAC unit, like the air conditioning unit, because it kicks on and off and makes noise. I'm hoping that the deer might get turned off by that location. Probably not. They're invincible like squirrels, it seems. So I dug up 11. Actually, what I did is I potted a couple of them. 3 I potted and put it on the back porch. They can't get on there. So I definitely will have 3 survive. But I took the other 11. I transplanted them to the backyard. We'll see. We'll see if it works. Pine straw is hard to find lately, like lumber. Yeah, I got in. I was perturbed a little bit. Like, well, I don't know. It's a story probably not worth telling. It's kind of boring, but I took a picture on the interstate of a lumber truck, and I'm not into making memes, but I basically put it on a Facebook group about tools, and I said, this is the 2021 version of a Brinks truck, like a money truck. And they took it down, not because it was offensive or anything, but apparently all the lumber jokes when you're in the in community and construction are tired and old. And so the moderator's like, I'm tired of hearing lumber jokes, so don't post anymore. Well, I don't follow that group very often, again, being busy. So I thought I was being kind-hearted and posting something funny, and had a moderator take it down. I don't know if you guys are a member of some of your favorite groups on hobbies and stuff, but some of these people I think have like, they just like control freaks. They just get like obsessed with being an admin, and they just want to like delete posts and do stuff. It's like, just I mean, I get it for offensive stuff and, like inappropriate, like, yeah, sure, remove it. But like when they start getting like that sensory about, anybody who's trying to make the world a better place and make people smile, like, you like, let it be. I caught a deer on camera this weekend. If you guys like deer pictures, I should take a lot more and post them on Instagram, because they're here all the time. Yes, Foxy Wolf, I was thinking about you. So it's weird when I talk about pine needle, pine straw, because some people are like, over the years when I mentioned, they're like, that stuff's a nuisance. We have so much, like South Carolina, Georgia, the southern pines are all over the place, in Florida. Some people have too much of it, but then others, we don't have enough, and we like to use it for landscaping. So yeah. Longleaf pines. Yep. Electric pressure washer. The advantage of having one for, is one, they're a lot more cost effective. They're a lot cheaper. So the price of entry is a lot less. Cause like I mentioned, I used like tax refund money like 15 years ago. I think I dropped like at that time, like 450, but you can get electric pressure washer for like 129. And they're good for like cleaning cars or mild cleaning. But if you want to get into like I've used mine for like paint removal on the deck that I was sanding and painting last year. I have lots of pine needles and cones too. Come get them. It was funny because in Ohio, when I lived there, nobody ever sold pine needle. That was a Southern thing. In fact, I remember going to South Carolina to see my grandparents, and when you get out of the car, that smell of pine was just, I mean, they always say you connect memories with like smells and stuff. I love that smell, and to this day, I still love it. Let's see. Not sure what pine straw is. So, hey, listen, you guys can educate me on it. Pine needle to me is they're the needles on a pine tree. They're brown. It's a needle. It's like the needle on a Christmas tree. That to me is a pine needle. Pine straw. Now here's where you guys are going to educate me. There's always two trailers at at like Home Depot or Lowe's. To me, pine straw is what I equate with hay, like bales of hay. But I think I'm using the wrong terminology, because sometimes I'll say pine needles and people are like, you mean pine straw? I'm like, to me, a straw, think of a straw you put in a soda or a soft drink or a drink, is hollow. Okay. Pine needle to me, it's not hollow. It's like the hay, the white stuff you have on like a hay ride at Halloween, or, in the fall. You think of like the harvest, or thing you stuff the scarecrow with. But maybe that is hay, and people use the word pine straw and pine needle synonymously or interchangeably. So educate me on that. But what I'm talking about is pine needles. So you have pine needle bed. They come in bales. It's like dark orange, dark brown. The needles that have come off, they're not green anymore, and they make excellent. And very next one, I didn't even read it. Pine straw and pine needles are the same thing. Okay. So I still want to know. So the other truck that has the stuff, like I said, that you stuff with the scarecrow, is that pine straw, or is that hay? Would you say I want a bale of hay? You are Hercules. I think I'm way behind. This must be on my reference to the weightlifting. Let's see. It's 9:09. That comment says 9 o'clock. So I'm 9 minutes behind. Lily has an early morning. Great seeing you, Mr. Mattman. Have a fantastic week. Good night to you as well, Lily. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for stopping by. Glad I could be on a little bit earlier. Got somebody else drop it in here. We got all about the Smokies. Hey, Mr. Mattman, can't stay long. Want to say hey to you as well, to you and your family, and the great videos that you're putting out there. Everybody check out All About the Smokies. I'm sure most folks have. Additional great content from the Smoky Mountains. I hope you're doing well and having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. We got Mike here. Mike, how you doing? How's the hikes going? How are things going down in sunny Florida? Let us know. Let's see here. Word up. I haven't heard that in a while. That's awesome. Nice. Sorry, but no, I'm sports agnostic. And you know what? And that's cool. A lot of people I know over the years, it's weird, because I think I found that to be more actually here in the South. When I first moved down to Charlotte years ago, I would meet people, and I was growing up rah Ohio State Steelers, and what do you like? And I'd meet people, and I'm not really into sports. Yes, they got other hobbies, other things to do, and fun stuff. So yeah, it's absolutely awesome. I'll tell you one thing that's a negative about sports is they're a time investment. They are a time suck. Like, I have dropped my sports watching by like 80%. Years ago, I didn't miss a NASCAR race on TV. I didn't miss a Buckeye game. I didn't miss a Steelers game. These days, I do not miss Steelers games. I do miss the occasional Buckeye football game, because Saturdays in the fall, if they're playing like Akron and the score ends up being like 68-0, and I kind of know that's going to happen, like Ohio State wins, I usually won't sit down for 3.5 hours and watch that. I'll record it, maybe watch first quarter. As soon as I see it's 28-0, I forward through to the end. I never miss a Steelers game, and I don't watch NASCAR that much anymore. I still follow it from a distance and love it, but I don't watch it like I used to. Again, it's a time sink. And then if you get into more sports, like every once in a while, I like to watch the occasional NHRA drag race. Those are 3 hours long, although I'll forward through it. Sometimes I like watching tennis. Speaking of tennis, I'm going to get even further behind in the comments. Speaking of tennis, this elbow right here, I believe I have a little bit of tennis elbow. I've never had it before. It's only in my right arm. I do play tennis sometimes. which is weird for like me lifting weights, playing tennis, but I enjoy tennis. But I don't know if it was from tennis. I think it was from skull crushers on weightlifting, which is where you lay flat on a bench, you take two dumbbells, and then you come down basically by your head and then you extend. It's for the triceps. And that's kind of hard on the elbows and you can feel it. Anyway, I think I have tennis elbow. Has any of you all had tennis elbow? I looked up online and I looked at the ways it'll go away by itself and give it rest and ice and compression and, rest and all that stuff. But the problem is that I don't think I'm going to rest it long enough. Because I like to keep lifting weights. And so I don't want to stop for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks or anything like that. It's not super painful. It's annoying. So anyway, if you all have recommendations, first of all, I'm not 100% sure it is tennis elbow. I'm about 95% sure. But anyway, if you have any recommendations, let me know. We have a beagle that kills moles. That is amazing because now in order to kill the moles, do they have to dig a hole in the yard? Because that would be a second problem. But that's pretty cool. Let me know. Margaritaville, I didn't see that one, but when I lived down in Florida, they were Jimmy Buffett was starting to build Margaritaville subdivisions. Like there was one in Daytona Beach, and he was building some other ones, and people loved it. Basically, retirees, baby boomers of that generation that really love him, just want that Florida lifestyle. They had it. Skinny and frail Mr. Mountain Man needs workout for sure. Look at those puny muscles. Yeah. I sometimes I look at pictures from 3 or 4 years ago and I still think that sometimes I think I look the same. I'm like, do I look any different? Of course, you guys didn't know me back then, but I'm always trying to make progress. And, but I can tell progress by the numbers in the weight room. So it's, one of the things I enjoy about lifting is it's man versus yourself. So there's team sports, there's individual sports, and then there's something like bodybuilding where there's challenges other than just the physical lifting. You have to mentally want to get fired up for it to get, to not just go in there and just kind of just putz around, to how to get how to get pumped up to kind of, want to do well. And so, it's a nice activity to do that's, very different from the rest of the day or like sitting in the front of the computer. Let's see. How's your mom and dad? I haven't heard from them in a few weeks. They're doing well. I just talked to them. I think they're going to be down this way in this summer. And, they're enjoying summer and going to they have that, little place up in Northern Ohio, not far from Larry, and they enjoy, and so they're doing okay. Yeah. Thanks for asking. And Diddaw was here, my sister, last week, and we went to Dollywood. And for anybody who is a Dollywood person or knows about Dollywood, it's kind of difficult because the hours, like going to a theme park for me normally is like a 12-hour adventure, but it's kind of tough because Dollywood opens at 10 and closes at 7 or 8. And, we never get there by 10 because we're over here in North Carolina. And so by the time we get there and park and then go through the tram, we really don't get in there to like 12, which leaves you like 7 or 8 hours, which when you have to eat and walk around and do all that, you're not riding like 25 attractions in one day. So usually it's a few, but I finally rode Thunderhead. Absolutely loved it. What a fantastic, fun wooden roller coaster. Rode it with 10 minutes before the park closed. Got on with my wife. Absolutely loved it. Ran back in line. There was 0 line and rode it 2 times in a row. That was so much fun. I love Thunderhead. What a fun roller coaster. I would love to go back and do that again. Went to Aunt Granny's again. Aunt Granny's is, if any of you don't know, right, it used to be a buffet. Now it's home style, family style eating. And we've been there. So I think we're setting records for how many times. I've been to Dollywood now in my life like 4 times, and we've been to Aunt Granny 3 of those times. Or maybe I've been 5 times and we went 4. It's something like that. It's almost every time. It's expensive. Every time is over $100, and even with the gold discount, it's expensive. I got to admit, the last 2 times we went, and I'll just talk about this most recent time, the food wasn't that great. like the fried chicken, which they're supposed to be known for, is if any of you are fried chicken connoisseurs, let me know. It was like chewy. It was like when I'd bite into like the chicken breast, it like you had to kind of like rip it off and it was kind of rubbery. Um the top is it top round or the sirloin? It's not sirloin. It's like a roast beef cut is so dry. It's like chewing on like dry oatmeal. And I'm not being picky. I actually can really enjoy like mediocre food. I'm like, whatever, we got a family, not everything's going to be great. But I asked the gentleman that was the waiter, I said, um, man, this roast beef is really super dry. Can we get another cut? Maybe it was been sitting under the light. And he said, we always make it like that. Best thing I can do is give you the juice and you can dip it in. So I said, great, we'll take the juice and you can dip it in that. And then the service was uber slow. I mean, I was sitting there, I had like a Diet Coke for like 12 minutes on empty, with that salty food. And you're sitting there like, I need a drink, So because it's expensive, you kind of, I'm not expecting, Michelin 5-star service, but the first time we went was exceptional, and it's just the last few times it's kind of degraded. So I think I need to give Aunt Granny's a break. I don't know why. It's disappointing to hear that because I never say anything negative, but so yesterday, for the first time in over a year, we went to Golden Corral. Okay, and that is half the price of Aunt Granny's, and it was a fantastic. They let you have plastic gloves. It's still the buffet. Everything's kind of getting back to normal. But I got salmon that was super fresh. The broccoli was fresh. Everything was just delicious. The service was good. The lady came to our table like 8 times. You need anything? You need anything? And I'm like, where? Because we've actually had, and I talked about this on the last live stream 2 weeks ago. We've had some pretty poor service recently at restaurants because everybody needs to hire and nobody can get service. So the service the last 3, 4, 5 times I've gone out has just not been that great at places. But at Golden Corral, it was terrific yesterday. I was really impressed. In fact, I wanted to post on Instagram to you all. I still have the picture. Maybe I will. Passed by a Kentucky Fried Chicken. It said on the sign, $500 signing bonus. Now, listen, for a fast food restaurant, a $500 signing bonus is pretty unusual. And then I looked across the street at Bojangles and it said job fair. These places can't hire. And then I talked about Panera and all these places that 2 weeks ago, they were closed because they didn't have enough staff or it was online ordering only. So anyway, man, I am way behind on the comments. I know, and I got to catch up. There's just been a lot. That's a lot happened in 2 weeks, folks. I just let me see if I could do a little rapid fire here. Cardinals got swept games 4 in the weekend. Went from first place. Forgot how to play ball in a couple of days. Yeah, those Reds plowing up my yard too. I did get something from the exterminator. You got to poke a hole down there. These fake rubber worms, and then they eat them, and it's supposed to take care of them. Let's see what else. Pine straw is actually long pine needles sold in bales like straw. Okay, so is it still the dark brown or is it the stuff that to me looks like hay that you put in a scarecrow at in October? Let me know. Hay is grass. Straw is usually the chaff from grain like wheat or oats. Okay. So when there's the 2 trucks, I got myself out of focus here. When there's the 2 trucks and one has the light colored stuff and the other one is the darker colored pine, what is the other one? Is that hay? Is it straw? Is it straw or what is it? Do you know? I'm silly because I'm sitting here talking about landscape, do all this stuff. I just never buy the other thing. I always buy pine needles. That's why I didn't know. We both grilled chicken last night. Of course, I did until 9 at night. Yes, it was. The chicken was delicious, by the way. Hopefully yours was too. Drought is finally ending, getting some rain. Good, because I know I'd like to hear if Foxy Wolf got some too. Around here, like I said, it's feast or famine. I mean, 3 weeks of no rain and then rain. I worry about stuff like the French Broad River because it rises up people in lower elevation that can wreak havoc. Um, Not a sports guy, rather be out hiking. Yeah, a lot of people, like I said, it's a time investment. And there's other, there's other hobbies. Tennis elbow use ice. Okay. Does it have to be ice daily at any particular time, or is it going to be after I lift weights, or does it really matter? Let me know what you think. I catch moles and relocate them. Where do you put them? I know because aren't they like, yeah, I don't know. In some states are like protected or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. They're like glorified rats. I don't know. Let me know what you do with the moles. That's interesting. Oh, a parrot head. Larry's a parrot head. Yes. Well, you'd like down there in Daytona Beach. You should look at those houses. Good gosh, yes, tennis elbow. I was an avid tennis player. Oh, put on a neoprene sleeve, especially when lifting weights. So I talked to some guy in the weight room, and he was talking about that too. I have not submitted myself to a neoprene sleeve. I thought about buying one off of Amazon, getting like a good one, but I'm worried that once I start wearing it, I'll never stop wearing it. I see some guys in the gym that once they get comfortable with that, and I'm trying to, like, I see some guys that'll put on neoprene knees, neoprene on the elbows, wrist straps, lifting belt, and I'm like, good gracious, it's like a Batman armor. So but if it comes to it and that's what I have to do, then I got to do that. Great advice. Thank you, Foxy. I like Jimmy Buffett, but I have met him. Not the best experience. Enough said. Oh, interesting. I always like the insider scoop. Let us know. Too bad you can't get videos for this weightlifting. I have a video from during the pandemic, and where there was a lull, I said, I'm going to make a series of 5 videos, one for each weight group I do. And I did one series on chest, and I never published it. And I talked about this last year, that I had a concern, and I've mentioned this before. See, on the Eclectic Handyman, I can do whatever because I'm eclectic, and so it can be a mishmash of stuff. But the Mountain Man is weird. We had this conversation before, that this channel is about me, so it should be okay. But I worry that I don't know. I would like to do when I at the real gym, but it's so outside, like the travel nature and kind of the adventure nature and the hiking. But there's other ways I could do that. There's the whole YouTube Shorts concept. There's Instagram. So definitely noted. I thought, at a minimum, what I need to do. I don't go with anybody to the gym, but maybe I can prop it up or record like a couple of exercises like that and put it on like Instagram or something like that. That could be kind of fun. Or the shorts, which I know you guys have gotten into. I think Larry and Kentucky Girl. I haven't done it yet. I'll have to see. Neoprene is what wetsuits are made of. Think diver suits. Yes, exactly. Isn't Aunt Granny's all you can eat? Yes, it is, Mr. Carlos. They've migrated to family style because of the pandemic and because of the last year. I think maybe they'll go back to a buffet. But so yeah, they'll bring you as much food as you want. It's a little bit delayed because you have to ask for more, but they'll bring it to your heart's content. The one thing they're known for is their fried chicken. And the last 2 times I've gone there, it's been kind of rubbery and not that good. And believe you me, I'm not a fried chicken connoisseur, but I mean, I like Kentucky Fried Chicken and Bojangles and stuff like that if I'm going to eat fried chicken or the grocery store. So, Aunt Granny's is way better than those places. I don't know what happened. We used to go to Golden Corral a lot, not lately. Yeah, so I had a big, long talk with the family on that because I don't want to teach, the kids and stuff to overeat. Like even me, like, being a weightlifter and being able to take in the extra calories, trust me. I mean, I'm sitting here talking about fried chicken stuff. I definitely have a pretty good balance. I ate this past weekend. I probably ate 4 or 5 donuts, a bunch of cookies, a couple pieces of cake. I mean, I eat. But I was talking to my kids and stuff, and I said, when we go to these places, because we overindulge, all of us, it's a treat, but I don't want us to be excessive. And so I just said, just make a good choice. Just try to balance, just don't get all garbage try to get a plate of vegetables. And, if somebody's going to make a salad, that doesn't mean 6 pounds of ranch. That's not might as well just go get macaroni and cheese at that point or something fun, a dessert. Yeah, Golden Corral for us is, can be, even me, like I can just be excessive. Like Aunt Granny's was like that. You guys heard me talk like the first couple times I went. It's just that whole buffet mentality I get. It's like I paid the money, get as much as you can. It's not a being cheap thing. It's just kind of like, it's just how we're programmed. It's because I guess the other end of the spectrum is like, we go to these places and then you don't get enough food and you spend a lot of money. That happens to us all the time. Like the kids menus at some places, I used to try to go on TripAdvisor a lot and do stuff, but you go to some places and a kid's meal will be like $8.99 at some restaurant, right? And I mean, it's literally like a joke. Like it's not even an appetizer size portion. I don't even think a 3-year-old it would be enough food. And then you're sitting there, you paid $9 for a kid's meal. They're still hungry. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then you get the bill and it's expensive. So then you go to these other places and you're like, eat up, So anyway, I love Golden Corral. It's a great place. It's a good deal. Everybody gets what they want. And once you start eating at places like that, it's really hard with a family and kids to not go to places like that, because you're like, why do I want to go to a restaurant and get this one little plate that's overpriced when, a kid could go to Golden Corral and it's like $5.99, $6.99, something like that. And they can eat as much as they want and they get dessert and everything. It's just really tough to beat the buffet. I thought all the buffets had to close down. They did not, and they're clawing their way back. So be on the lookout. I spent an hour at like White Castle drive-thru on the way to Memphis last week, and I was craving them. I love White Castles. We used to have this tradition in our family that we would eat White Castles the day at the evening of Thanksgiving. So we would have Thanksgiving, in the early afternoon, then White Castle night. What that was stemmed for is my sister was born on Thanksgiving, and there was nothing open to eat except for White Castle back then. And so that kind of became a tradition. That was a lot of fun. If my parents were here, they would talk about that. Hey, Big Daddy, hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Thank you for joining us. Straw, they sell it to dress soil after you seed it to prevent erosion. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. So you put straw down on, so I put seed down in the yard. I should put straw on it, but I don't. I usually cover it. I'll do one of two things. I either cover it with topsoil and I'll mix it in with that, or I'll rake up the topsoil, or sometimes I'll just water it in heavy, which isn't as effective. But yes, so that is straw, but is it pine straw or just straw? So it's straw and needles / pine straw, which are synonymous. I think that's right. Or you can use it for an archery backstop. Yes, another thing you could use that for. For cattle, straw is for bedding and hay is for feeding. Does straw and hay, I should compare it and look at the difference. You can tell I'm not a farmer. The Wally Fest got flooded out Memorial Day weekend. It had it last weekend. It got bad at Lake Memorial Day weekend, closed down Cedar Point and the Ferry Sea Islands. It was bad. Oh, wow. Yeah, it sounds like maybe you guys have, the weather up there has been crazy. Remember, Larry, on Mother's Day weekend, Put-in Bay had snow. And then, by the end of the month, it was hot. Speaking of Put-in Bay, one of our, I haven't seen her on my channel in a long time, but it's called, her name is Dawn, and they're called Just Out and About. A lot of you probably are either subscribed or know about her channel. Just another one of those community travel members. They did a live stream from Put-in Bay. I didn't jump on in time, but I put a comment like, hey, one of my favorite places. So, I'm surprised. Usually most people in the South don't know about Put-in Bay. And like I always say, it's completely underrated. I don't think they market it well enough outside of Ohio. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man and everyone. Hello to you, Todd. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday and everything is going well. YouTube shorts are a minute or less. That would work out good for weightlifting. That would, because that wouldn't change the theme of the channel, but it'd be like fun little nuggets. I know you've done it, Kentucky Girl. And yes, and Larry, he's following up here. Both done shorts, easiest ones to make. I'm assuming it's just like a quick video that you don't edit, right? It's just like just a quick video you immediately produce directly to YouTube. It just shows how busy. I mean, I should know this stuff, but I don't. Pine straw and pine needles are the same from pine trees. Hay is grass or grain. Thank you. I appreciate everybody telling me this because I'm always calling it right stuff. But What's interesting, since pine straw and pine needles are the same, when I get corrected and I say, "Hey, do you have pine needles?" And they're like, "You mean pine straw?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So if they're the same, which confirms it, um, people should know what I'm talking about. Have you heard about the Moo Fest in Athens, Tennessee before? I have not heard about the Moo Fest. I'm going to venture to gather that it is something about cows. Let me know. Maybe Aunt Granny's is using some of that Tyson chicken, the chicken that's from those bad roosters. I heard there was a chicken shortage. That's why we talked about the other week about the lean pockets and hot pockets. They don't have chicken in it anymore. So I don't know. I There's really not an excuse. They have a terrific reputation and they should try to uphold that. And again, I'm not like one of those, like, oh, that's bad food. Like I've suffered through like when the kitchen doesn't cook something right and do it, they don't cook my steak, whatever. I just eat it. I don't complain that much. And I was really hungry that day and my sister was with me. And so I did ask about the roast beef. I said, "Do you have any that's a little more tender?" Because they basically now what they do is the stuff sits under the heat lamps, much like a buffet, but I'm not sure how often the turnover is in the food. They stay busy. You would think it would turn over often. I used to eat like 10 plates at Duff's or Golden Corral and stayed thin as can be. Now I do like one or two and definitely not as thin. It was fun as a kid to eat as much as you could. I know, like when I was in my 20s, when Cece's buffet was starting to come about, um, I mean, my famous line, I put a hurting on the buffet. Like, eh, um, I would eat till I would almost make myself sick. And I've always been able to stomach a pretty decent portion. Like a 1 pound burger for me, um, since I've been in my 20s all the way till now is no big deal. Like for me, a half-pound burger, I know, and this is not normal people, and this is not good, but a half-pound burger or a quarter pound, that's not enough for me. Like I will eat a pound of ground beef, and I will eat a pound burger. Like often I was going out to restaurants. It depends on what time it was, but like I like the bun and all that stuff, but sometimes I don't get it. Like if I'm starting to get a little bit too lenient on my diet, I might say no bun, but I'll get like bacon and avocado and everything else and even cheese. I might get like a 1 pound double burger, maybe like protein style, they call it, without the bun. And, it'll be this big and I'll just, with all the toppings and everything and just eat a lot of meat. Love it. As a kid, you'd burn off those calories pretty quickly. Yes. So Ditta was a Thanksgiving baby. It wasn't Ditta. It's my other sister, who's not made a presence on this channel before, I think ever. I don't even know if she has a YouTube account. She's not a stranger to me. My sisters are busy like I am, with families and stuff. So they, I think if they had a live stream, I'd probably hang out on it, but don't worry, I'm not offended that they don't show up. No, it's my other sister. White Castle was the place to go when the clubs closed down when I lived in Columbus. Right. Yeah. Or Waffle House, probably. Right. I want to grow corn, potatoes, and chicken. How long should the corn and potatoes be before putting the chicken? And how do I keep the chicken from getting dry? So I am not an expert on this as much as I cook. So what I do with the corn, there's two ways that I cook corn on the cob. One of the ways I learned in Ohio, and the other way is the way I do it most often, as you guys see in my pictures. I will take the corn, shuck the corn and take it out, put it in foil, add, butter or olive oil, salt, pepper, whatever you want to put in it, close it up. The minute I light the grill, I put that corn on during the preheat because it's in foil. And the corn for me typically takes longer to cook than the meats. While the grill is preheating, I let that full flame hit my corn because it's so cold from the refrigerator. It usually doesn't phase it. Eventually, I will turn those burners either off or to low or put it on indirect and let it slowly heat up the remainder of the time that I put it on. So to be honest with you, I've had the corn in the grill for 20 or 30 minutes often. I will admit every once in a while at the bottom, I don't flip the corn or turn it inside that, because once you poke that foil open, if you poke a hole, all those good juices will drip out into the grill. And I've had that happen. So I don't mess with the foil too much. If you really want to get into flipping it, I recommend putting 2 pieces of foil so that if you break one, it won't break through 2. And then you could open it up and flip them around. I don't flip or turn the corn because it kind of heats up inside that foil. But I have had it glaze on the bottom because I've probably had it in a little bit too long. But everybody seems to like that. Potatoes. I don't do potatoes on the grill that much. Hey, speaking of which, I don't see them here tonight, but Yankee in the South did a video at Metcalf Bottoms Park, which happens to be one of my favorite places too. I have 2 videos on this channel from there. And I think in my year-end review, I talked about one of my favorite videos, which was called Pizza Putt Putt in the Park. That video, which ironically doesn't have very many views, probably because it's an eclectic mix of adventure, but I love that video. It's a great summertime video. The tail end of it, I cook out at Metcalf Bottom Park burgers. And but anyway, Will and Don were over there and they did steaks and potatoes. And they did the little round potatoes and they put them in. Much like the corn, I would think the same thing. You can put them in the foil, put whatever you want, what seasonings, maybe butter or olive oil. And I would think that the time for me would be just as equivalent as the corn. I would cook them almost identically for me to the corn. I've also done asparagus. Asparagus don't need quite as long, but asparagus, and I do the same exact thing. I put them in foil. I put olive oil, salt, and pepper. I let them grill. But if you grill those too long, they get mushy. But those take a little bit less time. And then the chicken is an art, and it can be hard or it can be easy. I will say chicken breasts and thin chicken is much easier to cook than like thighs are one of the most difficult things to cook for me. Somebody else might be here, be like, oh, Mr. Mountain Man, what are you talking about? That's easy. Thighs, the skin, when it starts to drip, you'll get a 5-alarm fire on your grill. You really have to cook them with indirect heat or put them up a level and keep them away from the flame because they will turn into a nightmare. If I've ever ruined food, it was probably with chicken thighs. And then with chicken, if you want to, there's a bunch of ways you can do it. If you want to really be exact, you can get a thermometer. You basically throw it on the grill, but make sure, if you want to sear it and then turn it over, but be careful. There's going to be different parts on the grill that are hotter than others. So sometimes this part of the grill might be hotter than back here towards the front. You have to kind of get to know the grill because one piece of chicken or beef or steak will cook a lot faster than other parts. And you want to flip it. Make sure you're not burning it. And then, you don't have to flip it a ton, but with chicken, I don't follow a lot of rules. A lot of this is just by eyeballing it. And I flipped mine probably 10 times yesterday. Like with meat, you don't have to do that. You cook it one side, you let it go 6-7 minutes, you flip it again, you let it go 6-7 minutes, you pull it off, depending medium, rare, all this stuff. There are great instructions online. And for getting the chicken dry, that you have to kind of, in my experience, uncomfortably cook it less than you think you need to cook it. That's the only way to keep juice. I will say more often than not, the chicken that I make is a little bit on the dry side, but it's always white all the way through. It's got nice grill marks and it's got that grill flavor. So it makes up for it. But there are some real advanced ways that I don't get into because I don't have the time. Like, this is why I don't talk about grilling with some of my buddies because, I am complete amateur hour. I've told you before, people are like, oh, I'll boil the chicken in water and then I take my meat and put it out for 15 hours and then I smoke it on a custom egg, with wood that my grandfather gave me, soaked in water that my great grandmother. I mean, I'm being facetious, but like, that's all great. And I bet you the food tastes great. If speaking of time investments, if you have 18 hours to grill your food, then go for it. I usually have about 38 minutes to cook my food. So, but those are excellent questions. What a great topic. Love talking about that. That was a lot of fun. I like White Castles, but I can't handle the grease anymore. Yeah, there's a reason they're called sliders, I think. But let's see. What else is in here? Shorts have to be less than a minute. Thank you for the information. You can edit, but it has to be shot on your phone in the narrow screen. You're kidding me. It has to be vertical. Please don't tell me I can't shoot horizontal. I do not like vertical. Do you guys ever? I don't like vertically shot video. like when there's like a serious event captured in modern day society and somebody's holding their cell phone vertically, I'm like, what are you doing? Just hold it sideways, hold it horizontally. For any interested, the Biltmore is free to kids all summer. I did see that commercial. Let me get back in focus here right now. We completely wasted our Biltmore. We had Biltmore annual passes that my grandmother got us as a gift the first year we moved here. And I went there exactly one time. What a waste. I feel so badly. My wife and kids did go a couple more times because the grounds there are pretty cool. The Biltmore is an amazing place. Such history, some tremendous books about the Vanderbilt family and the history of it. It's definitely cool. And that's a great tip that Rita said there. I would like to go there someday. There are a lot of videos from there. People say you can't film, but I see videos all over YouTube from the Biltmore. So, I mean, it's really hard because you can just sit there. See, the thing about video is that you can always post dub the audio. In fact, a ton of successful YouTube channels do that. They don't do live audio, so you can just sit there like filming, like you're taking pictures because you're allowed to take pictures. And then you just splice together a video and post audio, commentary. And then you've got a video of the Biltmore. I've heard rumors about no video, but I went there. I don't remember the signs. Maybe it was portions like the Christmas display only. I don't remember exactly, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube at the Biltmore. I found out last week about the shorts needing to be filmed also. Yeah. Is that the way it is? Vertically. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, hope you're doing well, friend. Hope all are having a great day. You too, Smoky Mountain Rough Rider. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your week and nice Monday. Thank you for joining us, and let us know how you're doing. My downfall was milk. Once was up to a gallon a day. Oh, enjoying milk that you drank a gallon a day? Yeah, if it was, a gallon of milk's a lot to digest, no matter how you put it. If it was skim, it might be able to be digested a little bit easier. But if it was like vitamin D or something like that, that'd be pretty thick. That would be pretty thick. Yeah, I wonder if I could pass for a kid. Biltmore's not outrageously expensive. Like if you just want a basic tour and you're not doing the fancy stuff, it's quite reasonable. Me and a couple of friends in the barracks used to go to the Golden Corral every Friday night in Clarksville, Tennessee, because they had all you could eat shrimp, and we had to hurt. We had to hurt their bottom line. I swore to myself yesterday I was going to do better. So like I mentioned, I got broccoli, sauteed zucchini. Now I admit the sauteed zucchini's probably got a nice helping of butter and stuff. I got salmon, and you're not going to believe this, guys, but I don't actually care for the steak at Golden Corral. I used to get it every single time I went there. Speaking of chewy, I think it's a little bit of a misnomer. It's not a really good cut. I think there are a lot better items on the bar, like if you want to get fried shrimp or I also got their ham. A lot of people were passing by. They had a carving section with ham. I got a piece of ham. I got some of their green beans. And then I did load up. I did get a bunch of fried shrimp. I like their fried. They had big jumbo fried shrimp. And then for dessert, I got a piece of like chocolate pie or something like that. It was good. I'm getting hungry. I'll tell you, I'll make you hungry talking about it. I had more to talk about food too. I need to start taking notes for I never have a problem talking in this thing, but I need to take notes about things during the week. Cause I'm like, oh, I need to bring that up in the Mountain Man Monday because that'd be a great topic. Not that I need stuff, but I'm like, I want to tell everybody about that. And then I forget. I had like 3 things about, eating that I wanted to bring up. Yes, the Waffle House still hash browns, covered dice type and all out. I never went to the Waffle House in my life until I was in high school. I actually went there after prom, which was crazy. I remember going into Waffle House with like a tuxedo on. It was crazy. Waffle House is good. Every once in a while we think about it, it's junk food, but it's good. It's good junk food. Actually, corn on the cob and the grill, soak it in water. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Larry. You stole it. I mean, you didn't steal it. This was the second way I learned, and I learned it. I wonder if this is a Northern Ohio thing. I was up in Huron, which is a stone's throw from where Larry is. And this is exactly what I saw. Everybody was soaking the corn in the husk in like a big like a big pot, and just soaking it in cold water or water for hours, and then just putting it directly on the grill. And then when it came off, they shucked it, and it slips right off. And this is way number two. I forgot my train of thought there. I did that specifically after seeing it in Northern Ohio. When I get lazy and don't want to shuck it, I do it that way. You can cut the ends off after you grill it within the husk, and that stuff will just peel right back. And it tastes delicious. And at that point, if you want to put butter on or eat it plain or put salt and pepper, that is an excellent way to do it as well. Yes. Metcalf Bottoms was a neat video. Yeah. And again, I have two. The main Metcalf Bottoms one I did not grill, but Pizza Putt Putt in the Park, I did grill there. I will definitely be going back there. I don't know if I'll make another video because I have enough Metcalf Bottom videos. Maybe that's a good one for a shorts again. But that place is fantastic for families. It's a great, but the one thing though, this is the place that I always is infamous. It's the bathrooms. Remember, I've talked about like 15 times is the bathrooms at Metcalf Bottoms. When I went last year, I was joking it's worse than what you could get from the pandemic. I mean, the place was nasty. They did a really good camping video with Chris and Mindy. Yes, I had seen that as well. Yes, grilling in the husk. That's what, yes, I'm back. What I miss? I've been gone since Larry came back to the chat. A lot. We talked about grilling. We talked about food. We talked about good food, bad food. We talked about landscaping, talked about being hot, pine needles, pine straw. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Potatoes need to be boiled briefly or microwaved, then grilled for best results. There you go. I want a big green egg brand grill. So one of the things I'll recommend about that is I think if you have an Ace Hardware near you or in vicinity, or even if not, maybe online, they often have coupons for their big green egg brand grills. And I think if you buy one, it's enough money. They'll deliver it for free, even assemble it for you. So keep an eye out, because I swear they have coupons for that a lot, especially here locally. I'd be doing skinless, boneless breast. I wonder if olive oil would help. Yes, olive oil. So one of the things I saw from this show I used to watch called what's it called? Something to Grill, License to Grill on TV. It was on cable. One of the things I learned is this one guy would take a rag, and I did this for years. I used to have this kind of grill rag, and I had a spray bottle with olive oil, and I would always wipe the grill with olive oil before I would put any food on the grill. I liked that. When I cook chicken on the grill, I season it before and I spray it with a mixture of bottled oil and water. Keeps it very moist. There you go. Like I said, I grill a lot, but I don't necessarily say I'm like the connoisseur because it's a time thing for me. But you can get really into the art of grilling. I do, when I flip it, if I have extra marinade, I'll continue to dump the marinade on or brush it on or do whatever. Like Larry said, throughout the cooking. Has to be vertical. Check out the Lighthouse one I just put out yesterday. Okay, I will. And you have to have a hashtag with shorts or YouTube shorts. The goal is for YouTube to put shorts shelf and then give you, the goal is for YouTube to put it on the short shelf and then you would get 1 million views. Oh, I guess it'd have to be pretty interesting. Maybe if I bench 405 and finally get 4 plates, maybe that would be cool. That's a goal I have. Interesting. I'll have to read the rules on that. Oh, I have to turn over the YouTube. Good night, everybody. Yes, Kentucky Girls. Sorry, I'm running really long tonight. I haven't even gotten to the news and notes yet. Let's see. Let me catch back up. My favorite at Golden Corral is the pot roast. Yes, depending on the day, they have different themes and stuff. Cutting grass and all this talk made me hungry. Now grilling bratwurst as I watch. Woohoo! Yeah, that's awesome, Todd. Yeah, definitely. I'm not a fan of Golden Corral. They all closed down South Georgia. I like Ryan's. We had a Ryan's, and they were very family friendly. It was right next to the Kmart, and they closed the Kmart. That wasn't because of the pandemic. Kmart, the story with that. But Ryan's did not make it through. They are permanently closed, and that is sad. They had kids night. It wasn't as sophisticated as the Golden Corral buffet, but it was good. And they always had coupons, and it was when I say family friendly, like all these places pretty much are, but you know what I mean? Like if the kids make a little mess on the floor and, are a little bit loud, you don't feel like you have a complex about it. They want families to be there. Get the Komodo, much cheaper than the Green Egg and does pretty much the same if you don't want to spend a ton of money. Yep. And I haven't done any of those, but I don't. Maybe Larry, knows about it. Go down to Cincinnati, throw on another one. That'd be cool. Yeah, well, Larry could be there in probably like 3.5 hours or something like that. I cheat now. I use a pellet smoker after years of using charcoal barrel smokers. So that's what I'm talking about. Like Larry, you sound like you're in a more sophisticated realm of grilling than me on my gas grill with my wood chips and stuff like that. Todd will be right there. Yeah, Foxy. Now, Foxy won't be there in 4.5 hours. Foxy will take from Georgia, probably be about like 10 hours or something like that. Our Ryans were very hit and miss here. They did all right. The one that we had, it seemed like they were kind of proud of it and they did a good job. But it was so funny because they actually had good steak. I liked the steak. But there was always a gentleman that it was cooked in the kitchen and brought out. They didn't cook it like they do on the grill and Golden Corral. And he was there, and this guy, and he would act like his kids weren't going to eat that night. Like, may I have a piece of steak, please? And he'd like look at you like this, and he'd give you like this little piece. And I was like, oh, do you mind if I have another piece? And then he cut another piece. I mean, it was like he was rationing it out. Like it was so funny. And I tell my wife, I'm like, that guy over there is like he's like the steak police, he won't give me, but fine. I'll go up there 15 times and get these little bite-sized pieces of steaks. I am the grill expert in town. It's a small town. Yeah. Oh no, that's awesome. I'm sure someday I will probably invest more in time and like smoking things like a pork butt or doing pulled pork or like brisket or I do ribs on the grill and they actually come out really nicely. I peel the skin off and do all that stuff. So I would say that's probably the most sophisticated I get. Yeah, the Ryan steak here was very good. I am caught up. Yes, I think I am. Yes, Big Daddy's talking about the hot dogs. Which one was better to Living Like Larry? All right, so while I'm caught up, let's get to housekeeping for the week of June the 7th, 2021. First and foremost, my apologies. I have not gotten out my most recent video. I did continue to edit it. I'm about 90% done. I'm very self-conscious of that, by the way, which is a little bit of a problem. I have to be careful with that. Like I really, I have these long days and then I have all this stuff going on and then maybe the dust will settle at like 11 or 11:30 at night. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go edit. I got to get that done. And that's not the state I want to be in, but that's how it is. And it feels like, but I love doing it, but I'm so tired at that time at night. And so I feel badly because I'm really excited about getting it out. But on this other hand, like I'm worn out. So I apologize. I mean, you guys are all awesome. We have a wide community of people pouring out content. And thankfully, I'm able to have these really fun, hopefully, Mount Man Monday live streams. But it's not quite ready yet. My goal is by next weekend to have it out. Don't hold me to it, but it's 90% done. Even when I only get a couple hundred views on some of my videos, and some are more successful than that, but I spend a lot of time editing and I still just can't get over that hump of just like, I have an idea of what I want to do and I'm always trying something new. And then, so it just takes me a while, but anyway, thank you for your patience. It is not a lack of interest. It's just a lack of time. And, that's part of my deal. Everybody's in a different stage of life and some people have different situations and mine happens to be extremely hectic. Because I have to have a balance, I have to make sure that, after the toilet's fixed and the shrubs are planted and work is done and, and I'm exercising, do all that stuff. And I've done my live streams and done all that stuff. Then, I need to spend time with the kids, like quality time. And then, so if I'm like, oh, let me go make an Eclectic Candyman video, let me go make a Mountain Man. So I just have to temper all that stuff. Anyway, I know you guys understand. Just wanted to give you an update. And I appreciate the patience on that. Let me make sure I don't get behind on the comments here. I have lots of views and lots of videos, but I can't get the subs. So the subs, listen, I'm no one to give advice, because I'm not a very large channel or between my two channels. I do, some of it, is the marketing and getting, your video out there, because YouTube in a vacuum is very tough as a small channel. Because if somebody Googles, let's say Larry or anybody made a video for Put-in-Bay, and then somebody puts in Put-in-Bay, Ohio, the first video that's going to come up is going to have 200,000 views, and the next one's going to have 90,000 views, and the next one might have 12,000 views. And your piece might come up, but it'll be on page 17 or something like that. So you have to kind of beat YouTube to get people to your video through other means. And that's ways of like getting Instagram, joining groups on Facebook, believe it or not, that are in the niche areas that allow posting content like that. Because that's the trick. Like I've told you over and over, there's one that's on YouTube Facebook, that I could advertise all day long. People will be like, what's Chimney Rock like? And I want to post like 4 videos, but I can't, because this particular group from like Western North Carolina area, they don't allow posting links. But what I was getting at, Larry, is like, if there was like, whatever your niche is, a travel group on YouTube, or a Northern Ohio, or a Midwest, or whatever, you gotta let people know you exist. And some people will get annoyed by that on Facebook. Why are you self-promoting? Well, there's no other way to get my name out there and my channel other than to self-promote. It's part of the deal. So fighting YouTube in a vacuum to just hope that they promote a video is just it's a climbing up to Mount Mitchell in a tricycle. I mean, it's hard. So, posting links on Facebook, Instagram, with a bunch of different hashtags, hashtag lighthouses, hashtag Northern Ohio, hashtag Put-in-Bay, hashtag living like Larry, hashtag hot dogs on the grill, because all those hashtags are searches that people subscribe or, will follow. So if you hit the right one, oh, what's this living like Larry? Now you can't post links, but you can say within your, check out my newest video, and there's ways to be crafty there. Twitter, you don't like, not you, but people may not like Twitter, but if you get on Twitter, you can, at people, at Northern Ohio Bureau of Tourism just made a video at the cool lighthouse, blah, 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 blah. All this kind of way of marketing the channel is really required until a channel catches traction with a community. If somebody wants their channel to get big, and then there's the other thing, it's quality content and things people like. And, all these recipes put together, you want a little, anecdote that's something interesting. You guys remember when I went to Manila? I met a guy there at work that had a bicycle channel on YouTube in Manila. At the time, we both had about 300 subscribers. Well, right now, this channel has like 1,200 or something, or I think about 1,200. This guy that had 300 subscribers, you want to take a guess at how many he has? He has a bicycle channel. I checked the other day. He has 350,000 subscribers now. Because in the Philippines, riding a bicycle is like is a big deal. It's like, catching seafood in New England or something. I mean, it's just, peas and carrots, salt and pepper, or just everything that goes hand in hand. And he struck a chord, and he went big time, big time. He opened a bicycle shop. I think he changed jobs. I mean, that's a success story if you ever heard one. So anyway, it's a challenge. And a lot of these things that I'm mentioning, I haven't been able to participate in because of the time that is involved. So I try, I try to, but at the end of the day, sometimes, one of the videos will strike, you know, with the community. Making sure on your videos to add keywords. If you haven't seen it, that's under the advanced settings, and make sure to load it up so that when people search, your video comes up for more than the title. And also making sure that the title resonates and isn't too niche. Um, you'll see that some people that have, struck, well in the travel community, a lot of it depends on the title being kind of broad. And by the way, the eclectic handyman, that's a lot easier. For example, I have a video and I didn't intend, I just said how to seal a grout floor. Very basic, very how to, and it's just very popular. How to change a light bulb on a, certain, 2012 minivan. Very, very popular. How to change an S thermostat. Very popular. So in the travel community, like if I said, Mr. Mountain Man goes to Chimney Rock for a long summer hike and it was hot. Nobody will ever find that video. But if it's, Chimney Rock Falls hike, I haven't done that title yet, but if I did very specific targeted, then anybody who wanted to find out about that hike, that would probably be the first one to come back. Anyway, that was an earful. I don't know if that was useful or not. Again, that's from one amateur to another, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm just trying to be helpful. Liked Ryan's for breakfast on the weekends, just for the corned beef and hash and the chicken fried steak fingers. That sounds super duper good. Thank you for the Instagram account. Yes, I will get right back to the housekeeping here. People must have been praying during the stream because I'm not coughing as bad. Excellent. Fantastic. That's great to hear. I don't want to do the clickbait way. I hate that. Yes. So it was on the tip of my tongue. I think that if all the advice I gave was genuine there, it was just marketing to get out and being smart to it. I have seen clickbait. I followed this channel that was called Eat, Trade, Travel. I think it's a lady. She didn't have many subscribers a few years ago, but she finally hit big with a clickbait title. She said she went to Disney a lot, and she said something like Stormtrooper yells at kid. And she took the thumbnail, and the kid was like crying, and there was like a stormtrooper. I might be a little bit off, but it was a clickbait type title. And sure enough, there was a little banter between the stormtrooper and a little young kid, and the kid got upset. But the stormtrooper was in character, didn't purposely make it. So if you would have been watching, nothing would have been known differently. But they framed it in a way like there was drama at Disney World. And the thing shot up to like, I think a few million views. And that took that channel off. So you're right, but it is hard to clickbait in the travel community. Like, what are you going to clickbait? Like, I mean, you can't clickbait, like we were talking about the Biltmore, like, I don't know, but fire at the Biltmore or something, but then you show a picture, 15 minutes in of the fireplace or something like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you clickbait as much in the travel community, unless you're at an event or something like that. So, let's see. The people that I met on this channel are the ones I follow on YouTube. Cool. Yeah, Detroit is having a resurgence for sure. It is a cool town, a lot of history. To learn all the tricks in house vehicles and learn how to choose the right tools and how to use them, tune into Mr. Mountain Man after YouTube channel at the Eclectic Handyman. I appreciate it. I appreciate that, Foxy. Thank you for always posting that stuff. I'm computer illiterate. I'm still trying to figure out MySpace. I know that's a great joke, by the way. Every once in a while, like drop like, is MySpace still a thing? Yes, hope it's getting it over that. Yes, for sure. I haven't coughed in the last 5 minutes. That's excellent. I'd rather get the views. I'd be honest. Yes, I hate clickbait. I know. But hopefully some of the stuff I said, none of the stuff I was saying is really clickbait. It's just about, you do have to promote. You got to promote. One of the things that's frustrating on YouTube as a creator is the amount of time and effort putting it. This is where I think I talked about this about a year and a half ago, that the fizzle rate, I could talk about the stages of an amateur YouTube person, initially is the excitement and euphoria and a new channel. And look, I posted content, and you go through this honeymoon phase. But then after a while, and then you get some traction and maybe 100 subs, and then it goes up and it's really exciting and neat. But then it hits a lull. Not every channel will do this. It depends on the type. Some people immediately shoot off, electronics channel or a lot. I mean, if you like some of the stuff my kids watch, if you look, and you guys probably don't watch any of these channels, but if I'm not sure, but so the people that have millions of subscribers, a lot of the stuff they do is behind a mic like this, commentating on stuff. Like what is it? The one like I'll come to YouTube and not even log in. Like somebody called like SS Sniper Wolf. A lot of like the millennial age type, like younger generation. I mean, it's just somebody behind a camera reacting to things. It could be comedic things, it could be funny things, it could be current events. And they'll post a video and it'll be like they farm a lot of content off of things like TikTok and or Snapchat or newer social media platforms. They'll mine it from there and then put together a collection of like watching guys get busted for cheating on their girlfriend. Or maybe not something so nefarious like that, but it could be whatever, and then be 12 minutes of showing a clip where a girl finds out on TikTok and gets all mad, and then and then the person will be like, what, what if my girlfriend did that, I would. So it's crazy because you think about it. I'm not saying that's not work, because it's crazy, but the editing's sophisticated, the camera quality and all that. But I think going out and travel to a place and having to do the research and all that stuff can be a real chore. So those stages of YouTube, it's interesting because you can get this fatigue because you start putting in all this effort and you're like, oh my gosh, nobody's really paying attention. Is it worth it? So yeah. Let's see here. I hate clickbait. Yeah. Thanks for creating more work for me. My wife caught me watching your video. Now she wants me to seal the ground. Yeah. Well, you can watch the video. And you know what's funny is the other channel, I'm not a professional. That's not my trade. That's not my, what I'm good. I just pick up these things. And people start asking me like more sophisticated questions. And I'm like, sometimes I just don't respond because I'm like, I don't, it's all amateur. And I that's what I tell everybody. Oh, hey, Tracy, back in the chat here. The biggest channels I see use stock videos and pics and talk about them. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Just sitting there commentating on it. I mean, and then there's some crazy channels like Mr. Beast. He's like one of the biggest, and he'll go in and buy the entire grocery store and then donate it to charity. That's, kind of crazy and cool. Do you have the cicada invasion where you're at? Not now. I did read an article about that a couple of weeks ago, but I did not. It hasn't been here. Thank goodness, because I don't want to. Yes, she has your number. Do you have any way of sending you a message if somebody wanted to send you a note? There is a, on the about page on my channel, there is an email address for the channel. But as I've mentioned before, like I haven't done anything like, I know a lot of channels use the same format where people will get a PO box and they have a lot of inroads to contact. Because of all the things I said earlier, I never want to have like a too much of a heavy commitment, because I feel like I won't be responsible because this is not a full-time thing. So the other way would be on Instagram. If you follow, I think you can message somebody on Instagram, and it used to be Twitter. I need to start another Twitter account. I need to start a Twitter account again and just forego the old Mr. Mountain Man one, because it'd be nice to post an article every once in a while. Yes, hope everyone is doing it. Welcome back. Yes. All right. So I'm way sidetracked. So quick on the this is going to be a record live stream, I think, for time. We're making up for 2 weeks. Let's see here. Let's do another window here. Let's see if I have any pictures. Do I have any pictures? Yeah, I did have some pictures. How far back was that? I don't know. I can't remember if I talked about this on the last live stream, but I talked about I like mixing Diet Pepsi and iced coffee. Well, there you go at Panera. That's what I come up with. And so if you can see where I'm pointing, it's about 4/5 full of Diet Pepsi, and the last fifth is with this iced coffee. It's pretty yummy. This was Dollywood. Dollywood, I don't know if they officially announced it or not, but the whole thing with reservations, I think, is out the door. We went on Memorial Day weekend on Sunday, and I had a reservation, and it was funny because we had never seen lines like this during the first few weeks. And yes, it was Memorial Day weekend, but it used to be you had to have a reservation and they would sell out. I think Dollywood quietly forego that. They just stopped it because I got to the main gate and I said, "Do you want to see my reservation?" She goes, "Well, they should have checked that out at the trams." I'm like, "They're not checking anything out there." Like back when we first came the first week, they had like a tent and you had to get a wristband. Of course, things have changed because of the number of people getting vaccinated and everything going on and things opening back up. The point being is that I think that as I mentioned, the reduced capacity days are over. So it was very busy. Hey, check that out. Did you guys see this video? Look at that train. That thing is, I mean, it's really impressive. It's pretty cool there. Look at the Dollywood Express going right by. Yeah, pretty cool. There you go. Let's see. Oh, there's me. There's Dit Da and I at the at Aunt Granny's, and there was my dry roast beef and my dry chicken breast. But that macaroni was very good, and so was the corn pudding. That was pretty good. Look at me making a mess. Look at that piece of macaroni on the table there. Oh, that was fun. Dragon Flyer is an awesome Vekoma roller coaster. The problem is that it breaks down often, and there's only one train. And so we were just about up and it broke down for like 30 minutes and it super delayed us. That is a pain in the rear to stand in that line. But yeah, Thunderhead. That was a lot of fun. There I am with the wife. And that is not me on that. I took that picture, but that is such a fun roller coaster. I look forward to going back on it. And that was really cool. That was a picture from Memorial Day. And burgers on Memorial Day with some corn top and bottom. I cooked a lot of burgers that day. And then there was the chicken last night. That piece up there got a little bit burned there. Yes, craving chicken. Yes, looks delicious. I do like the chicken. So there you go. There's the housekeeping for the week of June the 7th, 2021. Let me now pull up the news and notes for the week because I am already way over and I have some really cool articles. Oh, headed to bed, had a load of dishes, finished laundry. I'm so tired. Absolutely. Know how it goes. Hope you rest well and have a wonderful week if you're heading it out. Yes, somebody stole my idea for the Coke and coffee. Should have done a patent. I know. I think Coke came out with it, right? I think they were the one. I saw like a commercial or something for coffee flavored Coke or something like that. And I'm like, I already did that. Mr. Mom is a great movie. That is a fantastic movie. I watched that not too long ago. All right, let me get over here. Let's go to news notes for the week of June the 7th, 2021. We will go over here and share. And let's go ahead and present. All right, first up, what a great little topic here. This is big time, guys. I'm always talking about speculation. This is actually from WLOS. This is not from the rumor mill. Development partners unveil plans to revive the old Maggie Valley theme park. So those of you that are not aware, by the way, the theme of some of these articles is going to be theme parks, but Ghost Town in the Sky or Ghost Town Village has been closed for many years. It's been tried to been revived. It has not been economically viable. There are always broken things, water issues, all kinds of stuff being up the mountain, the logistics. And then again, in proximity to Carowinds and Dollywood, there's just a saturation of theme parks in the region. So et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there is so much nostalgia here, and it is the most incredible view and landscape an area for a theme park. So this is very interesting. From the article, despite attempts to revive it, Ghost Town has remained shuttered for years, but now new development partners whose names have not been released believe they might have a formula to bring the Maggie Valley amusement park back to life. What do you think about that? That's pretty cool. A member of the development team said the Ghost Town plans will preserve the nostalgia of the place, but bring in modern amenities as well. We came here when we were teenagers, Mike Benton said. He and his wife, Vicky from Minton Hill, remember going to Ghost Town in its heyday, when parking lot was slam full and it was just so much fun. That said, it's sad to see it shut down, but we are glad there are plans to bring it back. I think that's great because our kids need to see what we did. Ghost Town the Sky has new investors. The property has now been transferred to new ownership. So Dave Angel, owner of Elevated Mountain Distilling Company on Soka Road. Angel hosted some of the Ghost Town's original gunslingers and can dancers this past week, and it was like a family reunion. They were all, what years did you work here? It was a nod to the past and something the new developer partners plan to revive at Ghost Town. They also plan to add modern rides and attractions. See, this is the part that I'm interested in because some of the plans I've seen over the years are like kind of half do it and maybe make some mixed retail, like like an Anarchista or something like that. But nobody's ever made that comparison to Anarchista. That's my opinion. Like, just kind of like a subtle attraction up top of the mountain. But the fact that they said they also plan to add modern rides and attractions, lodge type hotels at the base and top of the mountain, cottages and retail stores. This would be a big bet. This sounds lofty because Maggie Town is kind of in the middle of going to nowhere. So you got to get people out there to spend money, 12 months out of the year. But Ghost Town the Sky. I lost my space. Ghost Town the Sky is the reason we have 5-lane road out there. It brought so many people in the past, and it could be a major game changer for our economy going forward. Angel said Maggie Valley's economy has been growing steadily for years, but a renowned ghost town would have a wide-ranging impact. It's not just bringing a park back to life, but it's also making sure we have the infrastructure to support the workforce, to support the tourism that will come with that. The planning includes affordable housing for jobs the new ghost town would support. Ghost Town the Sky developers are really looking at a holistic way of looking at Maggie Valley. I know people have tried to revive it in the past and it hasn't worked, so maybe this one will. The development partner says he's pleased with the cooperative relationship with the state, Haywood County, and Maggie Valley leaders. What do you guys think? Sounds good. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. I don't have to be to work till 9 tomorrow. Always feel like I'm late. Yeah. I still think they're going to make a resort type area at Ghost Town. Yeah. We'll see. Whatever they do at the end of the day, they have to make money. And if the only way to get up there is by that tram, this tram is a lot longer, I think, than like say the comparison I made to Anarchista. It's much longer going over. So instead of kind of going straight up. So, the infrastructure and logistics, I believe there's a road that runs up there as well. There is, and that was part of the reason it finally closed down, like water main or something on that road broke. It was a mess, the access road. So yeah, I would be, love to see some of the past revived. Sometimes this world goes way too fast. It surely does. I mean, they've got all the pieces here to have a really cool, look at that picture on the right. I know it's probably small on your screens, but the mountains up there, it's just incredible. And the niche they have with the theming is unique in itself. I don't think there's any overlap there. So they've got that going for them. I think it would be good because Dollywood is just packed to be enjoyable from what I hear and see on YouTube. It would be great for Maggie Valley. Yes. I think that Ghost Town in the Sky or Ghost Town Village would love to be just as packed as Dollywood. But my big concern is, Maggie Valley is just a bit outside of Asheville. So you're going to have to, it's going to have to be marketed well. There's a lot of pieces of the puzzle. And the only reason I sound just a slice pessimistic is because I did look into this history. I was intrigued and I've watched videos on it. And not that long ago, we're not talking about the 80s. We're talking about like 2008 to 2015, there was I just forget the lady's name. She poured millions into that place, and it just didn't do it. They'd open temporarily and then have these problems, and then it seemed to be a problem. Maybe there's a ghost. Um, is that close to you in Asheville? Yeah. So you take I-40 west, like you're going over to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg area. And it's probably from the west side of Asheville about 45 minutes, maybe an hour tops from over here. So was this Ghost Town place pretty big deal back in the day? I never heard of it until seeing it on here. It was. In fact, Big Daddy, there would be really cool. They had a roller coaster up at the top called the I think, was it called the Red Devil? Ghost Town. What was it called? Sorry, I have to. What was it called? Yeah, it was called the Red Devil. And actually, some people took camcorder point of view videos from it. But the thing that was unique about it, even more than Dollywood, that's also nested in the mountains, is this was right on the edge of the mountain. So you had this incredible viewpoint, but the roller coaster was plagued with issues and mechanical problems. But going back to what you said, they had like shootouts in the town and reenactments and other rides and attractions, and of course you had to take the tram up. So the whole thing was really exciting. My mom, had gone there many moons ago and said it was fantastic. So yes, it was. We are ghosts now. Love it. Yeah. There's ghosts in that town. Foxy Wolf says it is just on the other side of Cherokee, and it was the happening place for the Western type shows and rides. And I think that's something else I had read. Foxy's hitting on it here, is that the big, the popularity around, the Old West in the, the 50s and 60s in the United States. And you think about old shows like Gunsmoke and things like that, or Bonanza and a little bit later and some of that stuff, that and like our fathers growing up and, this was a big deal. But I think with that, come 70s and 80s, a lot of the Old West and stuff, it just became old. And with the newer generation, whether that was Zennials or Millennials or whatever, that just lost out for some of the other parks. And also, if you couldn't keep up with theme rides, and they could never keep that coaster going. If they could have kept that coaster going, I'm not going to hinge it on one ride, but if they could have got that coaster and it would have been a big deal, and it could have been their star attraction, then maybe build another one. Who knows what it would have grown into. Ghost Town is closer to me than it is to Mr. Mountain. I'm in the middle of Mr. Mountain and Ghost Town. Oh, very cool. Yes. So that would be really cool if it did open back up. This is a recurring hype on Ghost Town. Hello, y'all. So Dr. J, first of all, glad to have you here. I had some cool stuff to say about Dollywood, but I also had some critique on Aunt Granny's. I don't know if you'll go back and listen to it sometime, but haven't been that good recently. If you were here, you might have had some comments on it. And I also love Thunderhead. I went on it, absolutely loved it. But check this out. This is a legitimate news story. This is from WLOS, which is out of Asheville. So this was not, I have posted on here. There is a Facebook group about Ghost Town in the Sky, and there's a lot of rumor mill stuff. This is legitimate. There are new investors. So it's for real. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to get resurrected. Somebody could have bought the lien on the property or bought the title, bought the property or whatever for pennies on the dollar because of what it is. It needs a lot of work, and it may never come to fruition. So from that aspect, I agree. But it's not rumor mill stuff this time. This is actual legitimate article. So that's kind of cool, I think. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Told me wrong. Maybe it's the other way. Deep pockets have to get it going and keep it up running long enough to gain momentum. Yeah, it would take a massive, it would really need to be modern. It would need to be attractive. It can't just be nostalgia based. It's not going to make enough money. You have to think about the rough months when it's December, January, February, and it's freezing cold. How do you get people to still want to go up there? You know, is that restaurants? Is it lodging, like they said? Is it shopping? Is it attractions? If you zoom in the picture on the right, you might be able to see a house. We used to vacation at a lot. Great vacationing. Dr. J's right about up there in Maggie Valley. That is a very popular place and a lot of cabins really high up. I was thinking about the Tweetsy Railroad. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's over east. It wasn't a huge place, but it was fun. It was exciting because it was on the top of a mountain. And that's exactly it, is that its location, you know, the old location. This has any theme park built. It beat as far as views. In and of itself, going up there is a view that is absolutely beautiful. Red Devil was the old-fashioned wooden roller coaster. Oh, okay, then I have the wrong one. It was a steel coaster. Let me get this right. Are you sure? I'm Googling. Sorry for the delay. Town. What is it called? No, it is. It is. Red Devil was a. Check it out. Check Google Red Devil coaster, Ghost Town in the Sky. A guy named Cyclone Steve made a video there. It was a steel coaster. Let me see, Red Devil roller coaster. Let me see if it's the same one. Cliffhanger, Gold Rusher. Opened in 1988. Red Devil was renamed Cliffhanger in 2007, given a new paint job. The coaster is unique in that, you probably already commented on it. I'm on the wrong tab here. Cliffhanger. Oh, here it is. It was made by Hopkins. It's a steel sit-down roller coaster. Ghost Town Village. Had a height of 90 feet, speed of 50 miles an hour, 2 minutes long. Operated from 1988 to 2002, and operated just shortly in 2009. Let me put a link in the thing here. Yeah, Cliffhanger. Mr. Carlos saw it here. I just put a link to the RCCB. That's like the roller coaster credit or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter, wooden or whatever. Anyway, the point being was that, and Foxy's right. The point being is that it was a cool roller coaster, and it was on the edge. There's some cool videos. There's a video for you, Mr. Mountain Man. The abandoned ghost town. Those abandoned videos are huge. Speaking of big channels, yeah, you know who already did it? Why am I drawing a blank? Adam the Woo. Adam the Woo. I think Adam the Woo, and maybe also the Carpetbagger, took a drone up there and have some incredible footage. So if you want to see the abandoned ghost town in the sky, yeah, I would be late to that. But that is a great idea. They're pumping $200 million. And that is, by the way, I like the abandoned videos. There is a channel called Sun Something Films that does all abandoned videos. Excellent channel on YouTube. Goes in like abandoned, like went and like down at Disney and old department stores and Kmart's and malls and all kinds of stuff. Really cool. They're putting $200 million in Ghost Town, so it should help the local economy, assuming they can find staff. And that's what they were talking about too, about affordable housing, so that they need the infrastructure from it. Smoky Mountain Hiker has done several vlogs from up there. Oh, okay, cool. Jacob the Carpetbagger has some update videos over a year ago, but nothing lately, because Jacob the Carpetbagger lives in near Waynesville, I believe, which is just again stone's throw from Maggie Valley. Good night, Smoky Mountain Rough Rider. Thank you for stopping by. It's still somehow I remember as wood. My memory's failing me. Well, it's probably not too far off, because most of the coasters back in that time would have been wooden anyway. That was a scary coaster. It looked like you're going off the mountain once was enough for me. Oh, you got to ride it, Rita. That's awesome. That is really cool. Yes, I imagine that it wasn't very tall, but you probably did feel, and that could be freaky, for sure. That is really cool. I just watched that channel earlier doing the abandoned Hard Rock amusement park in Myrtle Beach. Well, okay, 3 things just came up. That's kind of sad. I went to the Hard Rock Cafe in Myrtle Beach. It's my favorite one ever. It was in a pyramid. I went there so many times in high school and college and stuff. Did that close? That's like I'm trying to plan a vacation to Myrtle Beach right now this summer for the family. If that closed, that stinks. And if you're talking about the channel I was talking about and he did it, I'm going to have to go watch that. Dang it, that stinks. I liked that. Why did it close? That's crazy. That was at Broadway at the beach. I don't know why that. Anyway, I also back in the day went to the NASCAR Cafe there at Myrtle Beach and watched Dale Earnhardt win the Daytona 500 from the NASCAR Cafe. That was super cool. This didn't have a cafe in it, just a park. Okay. All right, let me get to the next story. Man, I'm running super long. Hey, next story. Speaking of, Dollywood announces a new resort as part of a $500 million expansion. Dolly Parton announced the construction of Heart Song Lodge and Resort on Thursday. The first project in a $500 million investment campaign by the Dollywood Parks and Resorts Group over the next decade. The Heart Song Lodge and Resort, scheduled to open in 2023 in Pigeon Forge, is a 5-story, 302-room lodge featuring a sprawling indoor-outdoor pool complex and 26,000 square foot indoor and outdoor event space located next to Dollywood's Dreammore Resort and Spa. It's the first expansion of the park since the $37 million Wildwood Grove 2019 and the first new resort since Dreammore opened in 2015. Dolly said, "I'm always dreaming and coming up with new ideas and things I want our guests to experience. We want to talk about this last year, but with everything going on, we knew it needed to pause it because it was just not going the right time to do it. Things are looking brighter. With the popularity of the Smokies soaring, there are more people than ever wanting to visit our area." Footnote on that, and what she's probably alluding to, or maybe is on TripAdvisor, Gatlinburg is the #1 trending vacation destination in the U.S. and #5 in the world. That's incredible. Okay, there's a lot of cool places to see in this world, a lot of historic places to see. And little old Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, well, it's Gatlinburg. Pigeon Forge was down the list a little bit more, but that's crazy. The reimagined lodge will be centered by a dramatic arrival experience featuring a 4,000 square foot, 4-story atrium lobby with lantern-inspired windows and a 2-story stone fireplace with a never-ending flame. The property can accommodate gatherings for several hundred guests across its 26,000 square feet of event space, including a 2-story event center, 7,500 square foot ballroom, and indoor and outdoor event. Having been to conferences over the years and stuff, that's one thing that Pigeon Forge is kind of lacking. It's not really known as like Orlando or Vegas or some of the other big places. That'd be pretty interesting if Dollywood could kind of introduce into the Smokies, like having some national conferences come to town. That would be pretty impressive. I'm not talking about car shows and stuff like that. I'm talking about like tech conferences or medical conferences or sales conferences or, whatever industry. Dolly finished up saying, "I'm so proud of this place that we've been able to build here in the Smokies. I always dreamed of accomplishing 2 things with Dollywood. I wanted to give jobs to the folks who live here, and I wanted to give visitors another reason to come and experience the beauty of the Smoky Mountains. We celebrated our 35th season last year, so I think it's fair to say we've been able to do that. I'm so happy with what we're doing to make sure our guests have a great season this year, and being able to announce the new Heart Song Lodge and Resort is just one more way we're going to be able to do that. Together, I truly believe the nature beauty of the Smokies and the warmth of this special place will inspire every guest to nurture the heart song within them." Dollywood, is anybody still here? I still have a dozen people. Okay. Dollywood is, on amusement park lists and such, as I mentioned, I think it was ranked number 6 in the country of best amusement parks. I think it beat out Epcot and some of the others. So it's definitely, a really well-known, renowned theme park, doing a wonderful job. And as I've talked about before, they certainly borrow very heavily from the Mouse down in Florida and their theme parks with the theming and events, sometimes a little bit too closely. I think I've given them the nod to Dolly Parton and team that I think that they could be 100% original and not need to do like the Flower and Garden Festival, which is the exact spinoff of the spring Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot. which has been going on for eons, but anyway, back to Dollywood. They're taking natural cues though from Universal and Walt Disney World by having multiple themed hotels. You want to keep people on property. You want to make it a multi-day experience. It only funnels more and more money back in. If they grow Dollywood into more of an empire than it is, they certainly could start to look at expanding to either another gate. If people aren't familiar with that terminology, another gate at a theme park means like, so the water park is a gate, Dollywood is a gate, and then like the other big theme parks, you might have, instead of a land expansion, you could have a completely separate gate or a completely different park. I don't know how much land Dollywood actually has, or if that would ever be considered. So that might not be feasible, but they could also make another Dollywood somewhere else in the country if they wanted to. Yeah, meaning, just like we have Six Flags and we have, all these, and all the different Cedar Fair entertainment and Busch Gardens, why can't Dollywood also be, a multi-park, nationwide thing? Anyway, I'm jumping way ahead, but they obviously have money and they're moving in the right direction. Back on the last one, I had a ride called the Pirate Ship. It also looked like it was going to sling you off the side of the mountain. That was back at Ghost Town in the Sky. That is super cool. Really neat, Rita. Thank you for sharing those experiences about Ghost Town. That's really cool. Again, there's that Facebook group out there, and there's some other groups and news articles. I'll try to stay on top of it on this channel. Yes, Bright Sun Films. Today was the first I've seen that channel. So funny because I subscribed to him a few years ago. One of the first ones he did, I think, was Discovery Island at Disney World. But he's from Canada, so you'll pick up on the accent. Dolly has been all over the TV lately. Yeah, I think she's feeling very comfortable after the pandemic. And again, I give a big nod to Dollywood, during the pandemic time for what I was there. They really took it seriously and safely, and did a very, very good job. Yeah, that's kind of scary. Like those rides on the top of the hotel in Vegas. Yes. I don't see anyone who can afford to stay at these hotels at the rate they charge $300 to $450. I just can't see paying that much to sleep. You're telling me, like, I'm looking at Myrtle right now in the summer, a lot of rates. It's like a summertime rate. Inflation is a big part of this, and it's causing rates to go up too. This is basically, when families or couples or whatever, or whomever is doing things, people save up for a year for their vacation, or for 2 years, or for some people that go to Disney save up for 5 years. Seriously, like, or they pay 5 years after they've gone on vacation, if they do it the other way. To have these kind of ultimate theme park experiences. And so, yeah, it's definitely pricey, but I'm sure on that end, it's going to be probably and hopefully a very premium experience. Keep praying for me. It's working for me. I'm trying to get better ASAP because I have a babysitting job starting soon. He's only 2 months old. Oh, that's great. Yes, absolutely. I hope your cough subsides and stays away for sure. I believe the secret of how amazing Dollywood has gotten out. It's going to stay busy. Yeah. So it's, I'm not as seasoned at Dollywood, but I would consider myself like a theme park veteran, because obviously I had annual pass for Disney World, and I've had Carowinds and many other places. So when I get into a theme park, I get my bearings pretty quickly and start to pick up on the things that are about the different parks and such. And Dollywood is impressive. One of the things they have going from them, they have a large, expansive grounds. I mean, you could be over in Country Fair, and you can go back through, go over all the way over to the Wildwood Grove. There's just a lot of place to spread out, but certainly it's busy. So, I think Rita was talking about how busy it was too. Like any theme parks, if you can get out there on like a Tuesday, it's going to be a lot better than a Saturday. That kind of thing. Dolly does not own Dollywood, contrary to what many think. She just allowed the use of her name. That I did not, from the business sense. Is it owned by Silver Dollar City and she's just loaning her name? But I thought, like, Uh, I should just read up on it. Intellectual property seems to be she drives a lot of that vision. Am I wrong? Um, let me do a quick education here on Wikipedia and let's see what's going on. Um, okay, so um, Dollywood is a theme park jointly owned by entertainer Dolly Parton and Hershin Family Entertainment. That was the first word. So it is jointly owned. History, Silver Dollar City. An 86 Dolly Parton who grew up in the area bought an interest in Silver Dollar City. As part of the deal, the park reopened for 1986 season as Dollywood. In 2010, Dolly Parton said she had become involved with the operation because she always thought if I made it bigger, got successful, what I started to do, I wanted to come back to my part of the country and do something great that would bring a lot of jobs. I don't know. I'll have to read more later, but it does sound like she does have a financial interest, but is not sole owner. She's not the sole owner of it. But anyway, yeah, Dollywood is super, super cool. Does anyone talk about Branson, Missouri anymore? Yes. Our fellow community members, Yankee in the South, have been to Branson, Missouri. Silver Dollar Cities over there. I don't know if they went there or not, but there are people that have visited there. If you look for it on YouTube. So cute and cuddles so much. He's so little, 6 pounds at birth, 7 to 8 by now. That is awesome. You know, a little one can brighten up any day for real. By the way, really clear night. You read my mind. I appreciate it because I want to know how the audio and video were. I am definitely going long. I think a lot of people have left. It's probably because it's super late. I have a question about Dollywood. If one person has a season pass, does everyone in the party have to have it as well or not? Just wondering. So everybody has to have a ticket or a pass. If you're talking about a gold pass for discounts and free parking, only one person in the party has to have that, show that. Like in our family, I'm the only one with a gold pass, so we use it for the discounts and the parking. But everybody has to have just a ticket at least. But yes, one person with a season pass doesn't necessarily escort additional people for free into the park. Herschel Amusement runs Dollywood Silver City Wild Adventures near me. Okay. Yeah, Yitz went to Silver Dollar City for Christmas lights this year. Yeah, so there are some videos there, Mr. Carlos, if you want to check those out. One other article also about Dollywood announces a spectacular nightly drone light show for guests during the summer. By the way, having been a theme park veteran down at Disney World and stuff like that, the raw entertainment of fire and fireworks and like visuals like that got super costly. So technology improved, and it really started down in Disney. They canceled a lot of those shows and still use loud music and, you know, and excitement, but they've done lasers. And the technology with lasers and the ability to have like smoke that the lasers can, you know, make pictures off the water and mist, you know, that they can do like Fantasia and other things has gotten really sophisticated. So as a lot of these parks have figured out how costly some of these nighttime shows, they've migrated. That is not what's happening at Dollywood. I'm just saying that this is kind of the thing now to have like drones and lasers and lights and things like that. Dollywood has announced a nightly drone light show as part of its guest experience for a little over a month this summer. Just as guests come from all over to watch the synchronous fireflies in the Great Smoky Mountains each year, guests at Dollywood this summer can enjoy their own synchronized performance with the Intel Drone Light Show when hundreds of drones will be launched in the sky for a spectacular nighttime experience. Hope one of those drones doesn't fall down. The performances take place each evening during the park's summer celebration, June 25th to July 31st. I also wondered about that. I always hear about Dollywood at night. Well, they close at 8 o'clock right now. It's not even dark. I'm like, when are these night shots on the roller coaster coming from? It's got to be deep in the summer because the hours are still pretty soft right now. Dollywood Sweet Summer Nights is a multi-sensory drone light show that creates a symphony of light in the sky above the Pigeon Forge Park. Show uses nearly 400 drones to animate the spectacular Dollywood exclusive story as the performance is integrated into a musically choreographed light fireworks show. Intel Drone Light Shows has performed on some of the world's largest stages, including the Olympics, Coachella, and the Super Bowl. With nighttime hours during the summer celebration, families can ride Dollywood's world-class roller coasters all day and well into the night. check Dollywood.com for more information. And I'll just finish it out. So that's pretty cool. I just think that's really neat that they got a night show. Who knows? It's tough because we drive back from there, or I drive back from there late at night, and the kids really get cranky, especially since we got a little one. So staying till 10 o'clock at night would only be feasible, I think, if we were staying in the area, which is a possibility. We definitely could. There is the weather, 7-day weather for Asheville, Western North Carolina, and check that out. What do you see every single day? Rain, 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 rain. These percentages do not match what I have on my phone, which has been closer to 80 or 90%. So starting tomorrow, 60, 60, 50, 50, 50, 50, 30. So that's that annoying type of weather where it's like you can't get your day going because it's not sunny enough to do anything outside. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, yes, that is the let's see, get that back up here. News notes for the week of June the 7th, 2021. Let me see what comments did can't wait. Is that the light show or the new hotel or something else? I forget. Who knows when the bubble show starts again in the Dollywood Park? I do not know. Why do they close so early? That's a great question. Like, I get it. Like, I remember going to Carol. So Disney World always had really wide hours because they are so focused on people staying at the theme park, at the hotels, and they have extra magic hours and stuff. I was so accustomed to like parks opening at like 8 in the morning and closing at like midnight. Or maybe it might be a little bit earlier if it was Epcot or Animal Kingdom. But, Dollywood, we were going in March and April, and, the hours were 10 to 7. And, that again, that goes really fast. My guess is, Dollywood knows what they're doing. They've done studies. They see times. Maybe they don't want to get super freezing cold. Attendance drops off dramatic. I don't know. The thing is that Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg are complete vacation destinations. So most people that go to Dollywood aren't worried about getting up for work the next day. So the reality is, I don't know why they don't just keep it open till 8 or 9, but maybe they don't have the nighttime infrastructure set up. Who knows? They do have longer summer hours. It's just, it can get darker in the park early because of the shadowing from the mountains too. Yeah. Great live stream. Glad you're able to be with us this week. I know your throat is tired by now, but we really enjoy it. Your stream is always entertaining. Always looking forward to it. I tell you what, Cedar Point always stays open past dark. Yes, my voice is done, and I just set a record for 2 hours and 12 minutes. Not only is my voice fatigued, but I think I fatigued our audience because I think we got cut in half. Although it might have been the natural longevity of it that, some people just don't have time. But I thought it was an entertaining live stream. I enjoyed the things we talked about today. It is a lot of fun. I enjoyed catching up about the last 2 weeks and talking about everything from live landscaping to food to theme parks to grilling to YouTube to all the fun stuff that we do. It's a lot of fun. Oh wait, did I skip one? I appreciate the special attention that you give each of your viewers. Nice personal touch. Well, it's definitely able to, because we have such a cool community here for sure, and I appreciate that. That's very kind, and thank you, Big Daddy. Yes, got to get some rest. I'm tired and sleepy, exhausted from being sick. I hope you get better. Pray you get better. Absolutely. Super thankful you stayed on so I could join you all. Absolutely. If you want to go back when you're bored sometime in the background, or maybe, outside doing whatever, or taking a walk, catch up on some of the other stuff I was talking about. If you want to hear it, feel free to comment. Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful and safe week. Was a great live stream as always. We appreciate you going the distance. Thank you so much, Mr. Carlos. I feel like I always learn something on this live stream. We always have great conversations. It's showing 20 people were on here. That is cool. Yeah, there were 20. I'm seeing 12 right now. I don't know but it's not about the quantity. The only cue I take from that is if people are getting bored. I take real-time feedback because I want you guys to enjoy. I want everyone to enjoy. So if I'm, talking about something uninteresting, I just kind of keep my eye up I have a little thing here that's in the corner that tells me. As live streams go, yes. Thumbs up. Absolutely. Good night, everyone. Have a safe week. As always, a great live stream. Yes, I'm going to end it, guys. 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm about 45 minutes over my normal $1.30. I hope, let's see. Let me get back to the right one. I hope you all have a wonderful, safe, happy, enjoying, fun week. Stay safe. Just have a great time. And, don't hold me to it. I'll look into the shorts. I really want to get this next video out. I hope you guys enjoy it. Anything else? That's it, guys. Happy Monday. Everybody have a wonderful week. Good night, everybody. Mr. Carlos, Living Like Larry, our show, our story, Hope, Faith, that Ted and Deborah Harrison, Rita, Foxy Wolf, Big Daddy. I'm probably repeating names. Rita, Kentucky Girl was on here earlier. Smoky Mountain Rough Rider. Everybody have a wonderful week. And until next time, this is Mr. Mountain Man signing off tonight. Good night, everyone. Have a great night.